Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader. And interesting thing to note, this is actually the first Vader I'm reviewing on this channel. Don't know why I took so long to do it, but hey, better late than never. Now, to start things off, this is usually when I would take the time to look at the packaging, but I don't have it anymore, so trash can. Because reasons. Anyways. So now on to the figure. So here we have Darth Vader, and this figure is based on his appearance from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, as you may have guessed from the name of the figure. And, some of these older figures are not always super accurate to how they appeared in the film, but for the most part, this figure does a pretty good job. I think it captures the look pretty well. Then again, it is Vader. It's kind of hard to mess it up. It's a pretty iconic design. But let's get into the figure, and we're going to start off with the articulation, because that's what I always start with. So we'll just focus the camera here. His head is on a rotation, and that's it. His arm can go all the way around, and can go about that far up. Nothing at the elbow, but he does have wrist rotation. The other arm is a little bit different for reasons I'll explain later, but it can also go up, and it actually has a bicep rotation, as well as wrist articulation. It's got a rotation at the waist, that's very nice. And his legs can go that far forward, and can kick pretty far back. Yeah, some of the stuff is getting in the way, but yeah. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, he's not super articulated, but for a figure from 2005 or 2004, whenever this came out, it's decent enough. It gets the job done, mostly. Now, on to the details. Let's bring a bit closer here. Get him to stand up. Let's raise the camera up a little bit too, because I like him to be a little more centered. So here we have Vader's face, and once again, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's Vader. Did a pretty good job. That's a little silver bit on the nose, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Hey, come on now. You got the armor plating here, which looks pretty nice. You got his chest buttons and belt buttons and all that, and they are all sculpted and colored and look pretty cool. You got the little straps here and the leather. You got the leather sculpted on the arms. Something I really appreciate is that they didn't just sculpt it in leather. They actually sculpted in wrinkles of how the leather would bend, and the actual suit. That's really cool. And that's throughout the whole thing, even on the legs. See, that's a really cool little attention to detail. Yeah, got some black there, and that's kind of clever how the joint, because this is where it bends, but it's supposed to have that black mark on the shoulder. They used that to be the black mark, so that's pretty clever. So yeah, that's a neat little idea. You got the leather on the legs, which again sculpted very, very nice. You got the boots, which look nice and boot-like. You got the crotch piece. And then you got the back of the figure, just nice and shiny. You got his butt. And the cape, obviously, is cloth. And I really like that. I like that it's cloth. I know cloth isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I love cloth. I think it's better than the plastic cape, because most of the time, in my experience, plastic capes just kind of wear figures down. So I like that it's cloth. Although, in my opinion at least, it is a bit big. Like, the cape should kind of sit like around this range, but it's like that far out. So I should specify, the cape is too wide, in my opinion. Like, he's Darth Vader, not Batman, alright? Doesn't need to have that wide spread on the cape. You know, because when you try and position it on the figure, it, like, kind of sits outward and will, like, stick out in the back. And it's, so I just wish the cape was a bit more like this size range instead of like that, but whatever. You got the skirt, I guess, kilt, and whatever this is, which I think this is done perfectly. This looks very, very nice. I like that it's also cloth, which means it doesn't get in the way of the legs much at all. So yeah. Also, the cape is kind of thin, so it is a little see-through. So yeah, the cape is not perfect, but it's not terrible. So if you had a wind going, you know, it could nice and flowy in the wind and all that. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, overall, Vader here is pretty nice. I like it. It is pretty cool. Now that we're done with the figure, we can take a look at his accessories. And Vader, of course, comes with his lightsaber. So we have his lightsaber here. And open, alright, gotta do it like this so the camera will actually focus on it. There you go. See, and I'm pretty sure this is the right saber that came with this figure. I have a few Vader sabers in my Star Wars weapons collection, but I'm pretty sure this is the right one. Anyways, we got the hang on, we'll focus in here. Got a nice detailed hilt. Looks pretty cool. Fortunately, some of the paint is kind of scraping off, but then you got the blade, which is nice and red and bladey, and it looks very nice. And of course, you can hold it in his hand, which I don't know why I didn't talk about that. Goodness gracious, what's wrong with me? So yeah, his hands. One is in like a force position, whereas the other one is completely closed off and made to hold the lightsaber. So let's just put that in there. And it is a little that you have to like push it in like that, because it can kind of scrape off the paint of the saber. So I can see why people might not care about that. But you put the saber in Vader's hands, and now we can show off his Lightsaber Attack Gimmick. Because yeah, this had a gimmick, because all figures back in the day had a gimmick. So basically, you bring his arm back like that, then you take his leg, then you squeeze them together. And hang on, let me focus the camera so you can see it. You squeeze his legs and wah, he swings the saber down. Or you can just squeeze him and he'll kind of wiggle his lightsaber a little bit. Yeah, it's not the greatest executed gimmick, but it kind of works, sort of, maybe. I don't know, it works well enough. So, yeah. Overall, it's pretty nice. Now, onto the size comparisons. Now, to start off the size comparisons, here we have it with a Lego minifigure. With the Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra, which always falls forward. Goodness gracious. Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla. Now, onto some more relevant comparisons. Here we have it with the Episode 3 collection Obi-Wan. With the Episode 1 Jedi Duel Qui-Gon Jinn. Which I guess I should take him off the stand so you can get a more accurate look at his height. Here it is with the Star Wars Battle Pack capture of Tantive 4 Stormtrooper. And Here it is with the Galaxy of Heroes Luke. Almost forgot what he was called. And as far as I can tell, I think these two are in scale with each other. I think. Pretty sure that's kind of where Luke kind of stands compared to Vader. So that's nice. Yeah. I like that. I like that he's in scale with other figures. Because sometimes I feel figures don't properly show off Vader's height. They just kind of make him a little taller than other characters, which I feel isn't right. Because Vader, he's pretty dang big. So I like that. He's pretty accurate in height, at least as far as I can tell. And here it is with the previous review, which I almost forgot to show off. The Star Wars Galaxy Squadron, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. So let's scoot it back a little bit. So yeah, there it is with that. Now, measuring time. So you can see the figure is a little over 4 inches, which is very nice. Almost had to sneeze there for a second, but I didn't. Which is nice, because I'm sure some of you would not have liked to hear me sneeze into the microphone. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this review. And overall, it's a decent Vader. You know, it gets the job done. If you wanted one for yourself, it's about, on eBay, it's around $10 out of the box. And if it's brand new in the box, it's usually less than $20. So, that's nice. Yeah, it's not too expensive. So overall, I think this Vader is pretty decent. You know, it's fun. Like if you just wanted a Vader that you could, you know, just take and just stand on your shelf, it's a pretty good pick. Or if you wanted a Vader for your kid, also a pretty good pick. But if you wanted a Vader that you wanted to put in like a certain pose or something, yeah, this one really isn't for that. It's not that articulated, so not the best Vader figure, but I think it's not the worst. It's definitely far from the worst. It's just a nice little fun Vader. Yeah, and I think that's all I have to say. So, before this video goes on for too long, let's end it here, shall we? So, see you later. Sayonara. Bye.